Diddles. Diddles. What? Don't you think you should be working on, I don't know, one of the 2 videos you said you were gonna put out? Look, okay, I know I need to be working, but can I just have a little break, please? Look, Diddles, you're falling into a bad habit of announcing these things and then not doing anything. The least you could do is put out a video to keep everyone calm until we're ready to put those other 2 up. Yeah, but what video would I even make to hold them off in the meantime? No. Diddly do YouTube. Oh. Diddly do YouTube, Diddles here, and let me just go ahead and say I love Pokemon. So with the recent announcement of Pokemon Sun and Moon, I decided I should go back and play some of my old games to prepare myself. But as I was playing, I noticed a couple of differences between the old and new games that I feel that I wanted to point out. So, with that being said, here are my... So yeah, I'm gonna level with you. I actually don't have a title for this video yet, so you can just go ahead and put it up. I don't know what it says, but here are my 5 things for differences in Pokemon. Start the video. Pressing B to run has become basically mandatory in Pokemon games today. It's hard to believe that there used to be a time where you couldn't go any faster unless you had a bike. Yet and still, running indoors wasn't implemented until Generation 4, so even going back and playing Fire Red took some getting used to since I wasn't allowed to do that. Now I kept this topic short because with the introduction of emulators, speed doesn't really matter if you are playing the old Pokemon games, because you can just speed them up to whatever speed you deem necessary. Next! I can tell you this right now, my favorite item of all time is definitely the Exp Share, and that probably stems from me being able to level up my Magikarp without actually having to send him into battle. So Pokemon X probably gave me the greatest gift of all time, being able to level up my whole team with only 1 Pokemon. And I'll admit, I thought that was great! That is, until I realized that my whole team was level 80 and above, and I wasn't nearly halfway done with the game. You know, the more that I think about it, the Exp Share kinda made it too easy. To be completely honest, I kinda preferred the old game's way of leveling up. It made Pokemon feel more like an RPG to me. Having to switch Pokemon in and out in order to distribute experience points, it just felt right. So while we're on the topic of Pokemon X, let me go ahead and say this. Catching Pokemon also made it way easier than it should have been. Oh, believe me, I appreciate what they were trying to do. The Pokemon did have to battle to decrease my opponent's health, so he should get experience from it. But you gotta admit, it would be really frustrating when you go through all that work to catch the Snorlax in front of Diglett's cave, expecting a buttload of EXP, but then realize you're not playing X and Y. Alright, so this one's cheating, so I won't say a lot. Graphical limitations back then were much tighter, so I really shouldn't expect to boot up my Game Boy Color and see a glorious 1080p Pokemon battle. Moving on. Now before I reveal number 1, you may have noticed that I've only been referring to Pokemon X and Y. This is because I've never actually owned Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. And since I'm all about that no spoiler lifestyle, I don't know any of the differences in the game. So, if you'd like to point any of them out, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section below. Just know that I won't read them until I get the game. All about that no spoiler life, bruh. Thanks to the internet, trading has become one of the simplest things. You see a Pokemon you want, you trade for it. Done. But back in the day, you needed friends to trade. And alas, I had none. So yeah, I know I said this list was in no particular order, but this one is definitely first for me because it brings up some very dark and emotional memories. Because nothing is sadder than the image of a fat kid with Pokemon in one hand, a link cable in the other, and no friends around for miles. Like, comment, and subscribe. Alright Alright guys, so I'm gonna level with you. I'm actually right in the middle of editing this video with Diego, right? And lo and behold, when I did the outro, I wasn't recording. So yeah. I guess the video's just over, so until next time, smell you later. That's not my outro.